Now, y'all, I have never heard of this guy, but he has almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and I don't really hear people talking about him ever, which is kind of confusing. But let me introduce you to Mr. Mark Dice, a man who has a great name for making board games. Unfortunately, he uses his life to do things like this. Mark Dice is so dumb. I have literally never heard him say anything before. But let's listen to him complain about Hollywood.
Up on their gender swaps. Disney Plus, the streaming service.
Yeah, why won't Hollywood give up on that incredibly popular trope of swapping genders for well-established characters? Why won't it give up on that very popular trope?
Service has launched a reboot of the 1990s Doogie Howser MD series about a teenage genius who becomes a doctor, which originally starred Neil Patrick Harris, but the remake stars a 16-year-old girl, and her name is Doogie Kamealoha or something. So not only is she a girl, but for extra diversity, she's Asian. But there were concerns that this may perpetuate the Asians are smart stereotype. So instead of making her Chinese or Japanese, they made her Hawaiian, a Pacific Islander. I won't waste 30 seconds of my life watching the new...
Wait, a Pacific Islander isn't Asian. What? He knows that it's like Asian / Pacific Islander on like census surveys. I guess Hawaiians aren't real. Silly me.
New Doogie Howser reboot, but I guarantee you that there will be cultural Marxist propaganda woke.
I'm sorry. I'm imagining Karl Marx like being resurrected and like pulled into like a Hollywood screener for the reboot of Doogie Howser MD, and him just being like, what the fuck is going on? Also, the poor man's Tim Pool, yeah, but this guy has almost 2 million subs. It's crazy. Yeah, I guess when you cast a Hawaiian teenage girl in a role for a teenage character, that is really what Marx was talking about, okay? When when Marx was writing Das Kapital, okay? A lot of people don't make it this far in his work. It's actually chapter 13, where he goes into what he thinks about Doogie Howser casting choices. It's very specific, and it's always been a bit of a mystery. But I'm really glad that Hollywood has finally gotten around to catering to me, a leftist, by including a Pacific Islander Doogie Howser teenager. Okay, it's finally Hollywood has aligned with Marx's ideas. I still can't get over that just threw up his picture in the video. It's so good.
Every plot, because when Hollywood does a gender swap for a series or a movie, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Another new gender swap is HeMan, which was released on Netflix, directed by Kevin Smith. Oh, I'm sorry, Masters of the Universe. It's not called HeMan and the Masters of the Universe. It's just called the Masters of the Universe, but it should have been called Tila the Lesbian, because in the very first episode of the series, He-Man dies, and then for most of the entire rest of the season, the show focuses on Tila, which is voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar, whose character looks like, well, let's just...
a hot lady. Her character is a hot lady. I think that's what that's what he's trying to get at, okay? She's a hot lady with big muscles. You know, the kind of lady who would, I don't know, be fighting in an universe-wide war. You know, like typically, I don't know. I don't know if conservatives know this, but typically, when women enter into the military and they have to become physically fit to be in the military, they tend to be somewhat buff, actually. Like a what? Oh yeah, you know he wants to say a slur. The kind of lady whose abs you lick. True. I would lick her abs. That I immediately feel weird saying that.
Say she probably has a crush on Evil Lynn. One of the first gender swaps, which
on Evil Lynn? Is that a character in the Masters of the Universe? Also, isn't it more interesting if like the first season of a show about like the Masters of the Universe like is about getting He-Man back? Isn't that like a more interesting thing to do with the with the property? Because then you can like highlight all of the fun supporting characters and like tell a different kind of story that's actually more focused than the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which was kind of just meandering conflict for conflict's sake. Evil Lynn is a bad woman in the series? Okay. She's probably cool as fuck, though.
Consistently ruin every film franchise it's been attempted in was The Next Karate Kid back in 1994, starring Hilary Swank, who was taught karate by Mr. Miyagi. The film has a
Why is he going back to 1994 for this example? What? Dude. How angry do you have to be about this? How angry do you have to be about the ruining of the Karate Kid? Karate Kid 1 and 2 are fine, and now you got a reboot of the Karate Kid with like the Cobra Kai show that has like 4 seasons now.
7% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Then 16 years later, they decided to remake it again in 2010, starring Will Smith's son Jaden, because the franchise needed more diversity. So
Hey Ravenwood, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. And thank you for the support. Your support makes this channel possible. Also, look, it's not easy being Will Smith's child, okay? Will Smith is kind of a nutty dude. He's a Scientologist, and his son or his kid is has a lot of expectations on him, and look, he's all like his kid is just not a good actor. Okay, why did people like this care about him so much? I don't know. Yeah, Will Smith is a Scientologist, guys. He just never jumped on a couch. Like, yeah, guys. Will Smith literally started a Scientology school for children. I don't know what to tell you guys. He's just a little bit like more down to earth than Tom Cruise, okay? Well, yeah. Well, and the other thing is Archangel, like, nobody told Jaden Smith no. Nobody told like Jaden Smith that he wasn't doing a good job, you know? And he just never got better, which is a shame.
Kid was made black. At least Cobra Kai redeemed the franchise, which is surprisingly great. In 2016, with fourth wave feminism striking America like a Category 5 hurricane, gender swap mania went supernova with the remake of Ghostbusters. But instead of starring Bill Murray and the gang, it featured 4 women as the Ghostbusters. At the very end of the movie, the girls shoot the giant evil ghost in the crotch with their proton packs to finally destroy him. And actress Leslie Jones, who was one of the Ghostbusters, quit Twitter and said that she cried because she was getting harassed by people who hated the film. It completely bombed at the...
Wait, people were like calling her a monkey. Like, people were literally sending her death threats because she was black and in a Ghostbusters movie and a woman.
Box office, it cost the studio $125 million in losses. And a few years later, when it was announced that a new Ghostbusters was in the works and that would continue in the spirit, no pun intended, of the original series, the director Jason Reitman was called a sexist because that meant it wouldn't include the cast, which basically ruined the franchise, and it wouldn't be another feminist empowerment film.
I don't think anyone called him a sexist. I literally don't understand. Jesus. Yeah, white people are the original people to do karate. True. I do have to say, like, look, if you don't want Hollywood to do so much, like, gender swap stuff, and you want Hollywood to put out more original content, well, then guess what? You gotta support original content, okay? You gotta support original content creators. Much like Riverboat Jack, the purveyor of some of your favorite original content, okay? By gifting subs and biddies, you too can support original content outside of the Hollywood system, okay? And incentivize Hollywood to one day adapt Riverboat Jack into a feature film, all right? Has this dude ever been outside? Joy Drillkill, thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub. No, look, this guy's in 2021 still complaining about karate, like the next Karate Kid. This guy's complaining about a movie from 1994 and a movie from 2016. And 2016 was 5 years ago. Also, BoxFox, thank you for the 200 biddies. Public Loser, thank you for the 3 community gift subs. Joy Drillkill, thank you for your sub. I appreciate all y'all. And we got ourselves a hype train going. Thank you very much. Why, when we can just complain about it and get rich? Look, I'm not saying that I could cash in on the grift by being a cute trans woman who says that any movie with a minority or a woman in it is bad, okay? But I could do that and make a lot of money, all right? I have to link this. What is this?
I mean, 4 female Ghostbusters? The feminists are taking over. I'm an adult virgin.
Entrama, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub. Please don't be the next Blair White. Look, give me gift subs and I won't become the next Blair White, okay? Finchman Fox, hello. Yeah, apparently, look, guys, the movie hurt these men in just a very deep and personal way, okay? When they saw a woman in Star Wars doing the Force, they got a little upset, okay? When they saw women in Ghostbusters busting ghosts instead of working as secretaries, they got a little upset. And it didn't help that a lot of these movies were bad, okay? But also, like, just because the women are in the role now doesn't automatically mean that a movie is going to be bad. Great example. Annihilation. Fantastic Hollywood original film. didn't do very well in the box office, if I'm recalling correctly, and guess what? Had an all-women cast, but it was such a good movie. It was a great movie. But this is why you have Hollywood doing like this gender swap stuff, because unproven projects, unknown intellectual properties tend to be less of a sure thing. If the intellectual property isn't known, fewer people are going to go see it. There's going to be less buzz. And when you get dipshits like this guy talking about how like but women in a Ghostbuster, that actually helps sell more tickets, which makes it a better investment. I think Oscar Isaac was the biggest named male actor. True. And he was in the movie for like 10 minutes, maybe. The Ghostbuster movie was actually bad. I don't know. I never saw it because it didn't look interesting to me. But that's the thing. Also, when a movie is more of a sure bet, it gets less effort, I think. You know, I think that there are people in Hollywood who put less efforts into sure things that are like guaranteed to make their money back. And that was Ghostbusters 2016. I mean, I had a decent time, but I'm a simple man. 40 seconds left on this hype train, everybody. Annihilation, 40 million. Estimated budget, 43 million. Gross worldwide. Yeah, barely made its money back.
In Terminator Dark Fate, John Connor, the future leader of the resistance against the machines, is killed literally 2 minutes into the film, making all previous films completely pointless since the primary mission was to ensure that he lives so he can grow up to lead the war against the machines. Then Sarah Connor, along with the help of another good time-traveling Terminator who...
Wait, he does know that in the original timeline of the Terminator franchise, John Connor was also killed?
Who is an enhanced cyborg woman, help another girl, a Mexican girl for extra diversity, evade an advanced bad Terminator who is also Latinx, which is on a mission.
Wait, no, the Terminator is not Latinx. It's a robot. Does this guy think that the Terminator in the first movie was white? Did this guy, like, see this thing show up on screen and was like, ah, yes, finally a white man. Finally a white person in my film. What? Come on. An hour and 20 minutes in and we see our first white man. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Hey, classy femme.
To kill her before she grows up to lead the resistance in the future and fight against the machines. Yes, they managed to ruin one of the greatest film franchises in the history of...
No. The original plot was that John Connor, the leader of the resistance, died. And was causing so much trouble to the machines. Like, the resistance was causing so much trouble to the machines that they, like, needed to send somebody back in time to kill him. It was all just, like, time loop nonsense. There have been, like, 4 other terrible Terminator movies.
Cinema. It bombed.
Who is this dumb fuck? This is Mark Dice, and he has apparently 1.75 million subscribers on YouTube, which is incredible because I have never heard of him until today.
reportedly losing $100 million, and The Hollywood Reporter said that the studio has no future plans for any other Terminator movies. Get woke, go broke. Ocean's 11 was a popular heist film that originally starred the Rat Pack in 1960 and was remade in 2001, featuring an ensemble cast led by George Clooney. The reboot, which did...
Yo, Tea with Goblins, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub. I appreciate you. And your goblin-y ways.
very well, was followed up with 2 sequels, Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13. But then, in 2018, the gender swap mania infected the franchise, and Ocean's 8 was released.
By the way, Ocean's 8 is a very fun, very homosexual film, and I like it a lot, okay? It has Galadriel and what's her name? Fuck. It has a bunch of really hot ladies who kind of flirt with each other throughout the entire movie. It's a good movie. I enjoy it, and I like watching hot gay ladies interact with each other.
Re-envisioning the professional burglars as a...
Oh, it's a smaller number. They went backwards. Yeah, true. Number go down means film bad. Yeah, look at these 2 hot ladies flirting at breakfast.
Group of all women led by Sandra Bullock. As I'm sure you expected, the...
Sandra Bullock. I was forgetting Sandy's name. Yeah, Cate Blanchett and Sandra Bullock have like amazing chemistry in this movie. And Cate Blanchett wears like really cool, like slutty pantsuits. And they look at each other longingly. It's great. It's great, and I love it.
Film bombed, and the actresses blamed the bad reviews on men, of course, saying that they were due to a lack of diversity among the critics. In 2019, a crime drama called The Kitchen was released as an all-women gangster film starring Melissa McCarthy, Hollywood's token fat girl, who was also in the feminist Ghostbusters remake. And apparently somebody thought it would be a good idea to do a gender swap of Goodfellas. The Kitchen isn't even a comedy, which made it even more absurd.
Wait, it's not a gender swap of Goodfellas. It's just a movie about women gangsters. This is just a different thing. Also, there are a lot of larger women in Hollywood. And also, there are a ton of larger men in Hollywood. What is this?
The title refers to Hell's Kitchen, a neighborhood on the west side of Midtown Manhattan where the women gangsters live. The plot revolves around them collecting protection money from local businesses and running the neighborhood as part of the Irish Mafia. And I'm sure that you wouldn't be surprised, it lost the studio tens of millions of dollars.
I feel like chalking these things up to women in movie bad is like the dumbest take you could have. Has he heard of John Goodman?
And was a complete failure at the box office. But that won't stop Hollywood from making gender swaps. Disney is producing an all-female version of Pirates of the Caribbean.
That sounds badass. I want to go see that. I want to go see a movie about a bunch of lesbian pirates. Yeah, 100%. Also, fun fact, historically, women make the best pirates, okay? Women make the best pirates. I believe China even had a pirate queen. They, like, historically, women pirates are the pirates that get shit done, okay? Yeah. No, for real, guys. What was her name? Here, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Yeah, Zhang Yi Sao. Basically started out as a prostitute, became a pirate in the South China Sea, and then became such a successful pirate that she created her own pirate like navy and like pirate laws and also made it illegal to rape women, which is pretty, you know what? That's pretty goddamn cool. Yeah. Also, Birds of Prey was a really fun movie. I'll defend Birds of Prey.
That will star Margot Robbie. Steven Spielberg even said that his iconic character Indiana Jones should take a different form and be played by a woman named Indiana Joan. And no, I'm not kidding. Vin Diesel even said,
"Look, Steven Spielberg is you know, we don't have to listen to every idea that Steven Spielberg comes up with, because Steven Spielberg also wanted Indiana Jones to be a pedophile rapist professor, and you know what? That made it into the movie. So, you know, not all of his ideas are bangers, okay?
that an all-female version of The Fast and Furious is in the works. When the film Dunkirk was released, which depicts the historic Dunkirk evacuation during World War II when Allied soldiers pulled out of the Dunkirk harbor in France, liberals were upset that the film didn't gender swap some characters to make it more diverse. Of course, that wouldn't have been historically accurate or made any sense because women weren't on the battlefield, but that didn't stop the snowflakes from...
Wait, women were on the battlefield in World War One. Does this guy not know what like nurses are, or like drivers are, or like the World War One had like a squadron of ace women pilots who literally climbed onto the wings of their planes while on attack runs to restart their engines? Like, there were women at Dunkirk. This... and deadly female snipers. Oh, Dunkirk was World War II? Well, then it's even more likely.
About the soldiers
the Night Witches.
being all men. Also on Disney Plus, National Treasure is being rebooted as a series. The films originally starred Nicolas Cage, but the new series is being gender swapped with extra diversity and will star an illegal alien, a young dreamer named Jess Morales. Her and her...
I mean, this is pretty cool. I don't know, that seems like a good idea to me.
Diverse group of friends will explore the timely issues of identity, community, and patriotism.
Patriotism in my Hollywood movie? Why, I never. Also, like, yeah, you want to make movies that are like in tune with what's happening in society. You think if you released a movie that would have gone over well in 1910, it's gonna go over well in 2021? No, sensibilities change.
Meaning they're going to complain about white Europeans founding our country, and at the end they'll probably depict the kids as discovering that George Washington was gay. Hollywood's latest plan...
Damn, that just... They really got us here. Really, what a gotcha. Also, you know what? If he was gay, good for him. Still doesn't negate him owning slaves, but good for him.
And to promote women empowerment is hijacking popular franchises and then completely changing the major characters and turning good old-fashioned action films.
Conan Class, it sounds like you just want a sci-fi film version of Kim and Kim.
Into social justice warrior propaganda, not just swapping male characters for females or adding strong female leads, but by also portraying men as inept, incompetent losers who always need to be rescued from their own stupidity.
this guy says this, but I guarantee you, this guy also makes jokes about how, like, men don't know how to, like, take care of children, and, like, laughs at, like, sitcom jokes about how inept men are when it's, like, being a homemaker. Oh my gosh, it's 2021. He put out this video, like, this week. And he's complaining about The Last Jedi. Yo, I swear, conservatives are stuck in, like, a feedback loop.
Everyone knows by now that the last 3 Star Wars sequels were awful, pure feminist, nausea-inducing idiocy that permanently...
Also, I unironically love The Last Jedi, and I will defend that movie to the death, okay? I think it was a perfect movie as a second installment in the trilogy. Just everything went wrong with the last movie. Yeah, and I want representation that's done well. That's the thing. Like, how many movies is this guy not talking about that were just, like, reboots with just, like, kind of shitty white guys in it that didn't do very well? Like, why isn't this guy talking about the movie Chips? You guys remember Chips? The reboot of that classic television series Chips? They made the black guy a weakling. Wait, in The Last Jedi? I really like The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, like, I don't know, kind of saved the series to me, and then look, also, J.J. Abrams can, like, do a fine facsimile of a movie, and that was fine for the first installment in the series, but, like, yo, he should not have been brought back for the last one, okay? Dude, my dude proved in Lost that he can't end anything, okay? Was it feminist because it had a woman lead? Yeah, pretty much, Chief. That's what he's alleging. I mean, look, I didn't like the very first movie. I didn't like The Force Awakens that much. I thought it was pretty hollow. But I thought The Last Jedi actually had, like, substance to it. It was actually about stuff. It was about the series. It had ideas in it. And then they just didn't do anything with the substance of The Last Jedi, and the subsequent film was also just hollow garbage. Yeah, The Force Awakens wasn't bad. It did what it needed to do. It just wasn't really about anything. Yeah, The Last Jedi is the best of the sequels. Yeah.
Permanently tainted the franchise. Even the Star Wars spin-off Rogue One starred a woman and a carefully chosen cast of diverse characters. So it's no wonder that George Lucas, who sold the rights to Disney in 2012, later said that he felt betrayed after the entertainment giant decided to go in another direction with his...
Wait, George Lucas didn't feel betrayed because there were too many, like, blacks and Latinas in the sequel trilogy. This isn't why he felt betrayed. He felt betrayed because they didn't follow the story that he laid out for the series, which is fine. Also, even in like in like the 1970s, fans were complaining that there weren't, like, black or Asian people in Star Wars. Let's see. Yeah, Carl Sagan in 1978.
Star Wars starts out saying it's on some other galaxy.
Right.
And then you see there's people. And starting in scene 1, there's a problem because Human beings are the result of a unique evolutionary sequence based upon so many individually unlikely random events on the Earth. In fact, I think most evolutionary biologists would agree that if you started the Earth out again and just let those random factors operate, you might wind up with beings that are as smart as us and as ethical and artistic and all the rest, but they would not be human beings. That's for the Earth. So in another planet, different environment, very unlikely to have human beings.
Are you saying on another galaxy, it's not possible that there could be...
It's extremely unlikely that there would be creatures as similar to us as the dominant ones in Star Wars, and there's a whole bunch of other things. They're all white. The skin of all the humans in Star Wars, oddly enough, is sort of like this.
Right.
And not even the other colors represented on the Earth are present, much less greens and blues and purples and oranges.
They did have a scene in Star Wars with a lot of strange characters.
Yeah, but none of them seem to be in charge of the galaxy. Everybody in charge of the galaxy seemed to look like us. And I thought there was a large amount of human chauvinism. And also, I felt very bad that at the end, the Wookiee didn't get a medal also. You know, all the people got medals, and the Wookiee who had been in there fighting all the time, he didn't get any medal. And I thought that was an example of anti-Wookiee discrimination.
But yeah, no, like, just subtly pointing out that, like, yeah, pretty weird that, like, only white people were in Star Wars.
His original ideas. He once referred to the films as his kids and said that he regretfully sold them into slavery. Birds of Prey is a spin-off from...
Yeah, you gotta feel real bad for George Lucas making $4 billion off of Star Wars. Also, he's about to shit on Birds of Prey, but Birds of Prey is a brilliant film, and I will fight all of you.
Suicide Squad, a film based on DC Comics characters focusing on Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, who just broke up with her boyfriend, the Joker, and must survive as a supervillain in Gotham City with no man to protect her. And critics loved the movie because it was about women's emancipation, since her character proved that she could be a supervillain on her own without a boyfriend. The film...
Yeah, it's an interesting premise. Does this guy, like, think the Joker was, like, a good and loving boyfriend? The Joker, the arch nemesis of Batman? Is he, like... Yeah, no, of course, you break up with the biggest supervillain in your setting after having pissed off everybody as Harley Quinn. Yeah, everyone's gonna want to kill you. That's an interesting premise for a story. And yeah, obviously it ties in with a lot of other themes.
Was a failure as usual, but Hollywood can't take a hint. They'll keep making feminist propaganda pieces and have their favorite critics try to sell them to viewers, no matter how much they suck and how poor they perform at the box office. Something that is a big hit, however, is my book, Hollywood Propaganda: How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture, which...
Yeah, the art of your book really sells how much effort went into it. This literally looks like he made it with, like, I don't know, clip art, I guess? This looks like he made it in clip art himself.
Video games, in a sense, are addictive. Not like drugs, more like the need of God.
Does this guy want Rambo for every movie? I mean, look, he's fine with Rambo, Scott Pilgrim, Luke Skywalker. Look, he's fine with very Han Solo types. Die Hard, like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Look, Jason Statham films. Look, he's for a very diverse array of people in his films, okay?